Okay, problem number 3 is a related rate problem. And the first thing you're supposed to do with a related rate problem is write down everything that you know. So I started with just a given in this. Sand is falling from a rectangular box. Measurements are 40 by 20, and it's flowing out at a rate of 300 cubic inches per minute. So I drew your box, 20 by 40 by h. Put in dV dt is negative 300 inches per minute. And then the sand is forming a conical pile. At the particular moment we're going to do this, the pile is 23 inches high, diameter is 16 inches, it looks like a 10, it's supposed to be a 16. The base is increasing, the diameter is increasing at 1.5, so the radius is increasing at 0.75. So that's what we're given. I've written it down. Now let's get started on part A. And part A is just asking you, how's the depth of the sand in the box changing? So you have to take note of a few things here. First, you have to know that dV, oh, I wrote that way too high. Where am I going? Okay, so dV dt is equal to negative 300 inches cubed per minute. And volume is going to equal 20 times 40 times the height, or the volume is going to be 800 times the height. So dV dt is going to be 800 dH dt. Now, what we're trying to find is what's happening to the height at any given time. So we're trying to find dH dt. So I'm going to switch it around a little bit here and say 800 dH dt is equal to negative 300, or dH dt is negative 3/8 inches, that's just inches per minute. So for part A, what's happening is the height of the sand in the box is decreasing at 3/8 of an inch per minute. Now, you could write decreasing 3/8 of an inch per minute or negative 3/8 of an inch per minute with the diagram that you have set up. Either way works fine for that. So let's move on to the second part. And the second part actually has two parts in it. And it says, how fast is the area of the circle of the cone increasing? Well, you know that area is equal to pi r squared. So the change in area with respect to time is going to be 2 pi r dr dt. So 2 pi, since the diameter is 16, the radius is going to be 8, and the change in radius is 0.75. So 2 pi times 8 times 0.75 is 12 pi inches squared per minute. Kind of straightforward. I'm leaning as I go down there. I apologize for that. Okay, so that is part 2. And then part 3, how fast is the height of the pile increasing? Well, for that, you have your volume. Can I write right there? I need to go over here. So the volume is, what is the volume? Pi over 3 r squared h. So if I want to find the change in volume over time, that's going to be pi over 3, and I'm going to leave that out front, 2rh dr dt plus r squared dH dt. Now, we're trying to find dH dt, which means we should know everything else. The change in volume of the cone is going to be 300. Now notice it's not negative 300. It's going out of the box and into the cone. So it's positive going into the cone of 300 is equal to pi over 3 2, radius is 8. What is the height, did they say, for this box? I believe they said 23. And then change in radius over time is 0.75 plus 8 squared dH dt. Now, I'm going to take this pi over 3 and make this 900 over pi is equal to 2 times 8 times 23 times 0.75 is 276 plus, that's not 16, let me erase that. It's not 8 plus 8, it's 8 times 8, so that's 64 dH dt. So I'm going to bring 900 over pi minus 276 is equal to 64 dH dt. So dH dt is going to be 1 over 64 times 900 over pi minus 270, I said 274, is that right? No, it's 276. It should be 276. And that would be in inches per minute. Okay, so those are all of the answers and all of the steps. Let's go through and score this and see what you're supposed to do. So part A were 3 points. Did you write dV dt is negative 300 inches cubed per minute? That's a point. Did you set up this equation, dV dt is equal to 800 dH dt? If you did that, you got a point. And then if you came up with the answer, you got a point as well. So those are the 3 points for part A. For part B, 1, it was only worth 2 points. Did you come up with the dA dt equation that you have right there, and then did you come up with the answer? Part B, 2, was worth 3 points. First, did you do your implicit differentiation properly? Come up with that. That was actually worth 2 points. So if you mostly came up with it and missed a little bit, you got 1 point, but you needed to come up with the correct to get the correct answer. Then you get another point for having the answer. And if you took that answer in your calculator and gave it to me to 3 decimal points, that's acceptable as well. I just noticed that that went off the bottom of the board. So I'll rewrite that in just a second. And then you get 1 point for showing correct units across the board. So since the answer went off the side of the board, I'll rewrite it over here. dH dt is equal to 1 over 64 times 900 over pi minus 276 inches per minute. So that's, you get 1 point for that correct answer. I'll go ahead and put a check mark by it to make it complete. And then we are done.